Hey everyone, Matt here. It's a Vinyl Head UK channel, and once again I have another fine record of mine from my vinyl collection to share with all of you. So we're going to look at a rock record today. Now, this band, I don't know huge amounts about them, in all honesty, so it might not be as long as video as some of the other videos on my records, but we can still look at it, we can still appreciate it, we can talk a bit about it. But it's a great rock record from an American band from Pennsylvania. Okay, I've got it right here. So the name of this band, and this band might not be too familiar to loads of people, but let me tell you and make you rest assured that this is a great band. So the name of the band is Crobot, and this is their first full-length Something Supernatural. And it is a great, punchy, vibrant rock album. So, again, this was one of the earlier records I bought. I have never seen this band live. It's one of the few bands that I really like that I haven't actually seen live. Now, let me tell you how I came to hear about Crobot. They kind of went under the radar a little bit for me initially. But I've got two very good friends of mine called Toby and Gina. And they, like me, go to download each and every year. And Toby and Gina are big rock fans. Big rock fans. And they have a very extensive knowledge of a lot of bands that I haven't really heard of or know much about. Some fantastic British bands, some bands from the States, but they know their stuff. And one of the bands that I would often hear them talk about or see pictures of them with, I know that they've met them before, was this band called Crobot. And I never really decided to check out Crobot. And that was a mistake, because I did finally, and it was like, wow, this is a great band. But the first track of theirs I actually went to check out was off this album. The first track of this record, Legend of the Spaceborne Killer. And I heard this track, and it was quirky, and as I say, very vibrant, and it had a real bouncy, punchy kick to it. Not very sort of in your face, you know, where we've talked about metal being in your face, but just a very quirky punch. If you've heard the track or you know of Crobot, you probably know what I mean by that. And I heard this track and I put it on again straight after, and then I put it on again, and I couldn't get enough of this track. I didn't really go and explore the album. I just kind of stuck to this track, and it's only when they released their latest album that I listened to that all the way through and realised that, okay, that punchy quirkiness carries on through on other tracks that they've done. And I listened to the latest album a lot, and then I went back and listened to this one, and then I listened to the second album. They've only done 3 studio albums. The 4th one is imminent, and they've got some pretty cool guest musicians on that. They released a track recently. It's got Frank Bello from Anthrax on. And if you've got someone from Anthrax on your track, it's going to be a winner, right? So, yeah, I went back and I listened to this one, the second album. And all 3 of them are really good. There's not a weak one of the 3, if I'm completely honest. And we kind of went from there. And I saw Something Supernatural going not too expensive online. It was again on Discogs, where I get a lot of my records now. And I had to get it. And here it is in my hands. And it's got a lot of play. So let's look at the art. It's pretty cool. The logo, I think, the actual band logo there is pretty retro looking. I guess if you didn't know who they were or what the band name is, it would be kind of hard to properly gauge who they are. But yeah, it's quite, again, quirky. A quirky band with a quirky logo. But yeah, it's quite old school, like, logo, I think. And then the artwork, very colourful. And again, I'm going to use this word a lot, very vibrant. There's a lot going on, which is cool. I like rock and metal bands that have a lot going on with their artwork. I like, this is one of the draws of vinyl to me. I've touched on it a little bit. When I get CDs, you know, it's kind of a fraction of the size. And when you have a lot going on, like on this, it's kind of hard to see. You have to get like your magnifying glass out in some cases to really see every detail and see what's going on. And then prior to vinyl, a lot of my music I would get from Apple Music. And, you know, on my phone, the little square where the artwork is, I know you can enlarge it a little bit, but I wouldn't really take notice too much of the artwork. The thing with Apple Music, it makes life easy. And so I'd get an album, say I got this Crobot album, I'd get it, I'd download it onto my phone. I wouldn't ever really look at the artwork. I'd click a button and it's playing. I wouldn't have to look at track names, artwork, as I say, anything like that. With vinyl, it's one of the things that drew me to vinyl when I first, you know, recently decided I wanted to dive headfirst in, as I do when I get passionate about something. I want to do it all. I want to look at the artwork more, you know. Artwork is such a big thing on albums for rock and metal bands. Everybody has their favourite album cover, and there's good reason why it's their favourite. But to have it enlarged like this, where you can actually hold it and look, and you can take in all these lovely colours and take in all the detail, I think that's really nice. And it's a bit of a lost art, I think, with non-vinyl people not really paying attention to. I was guilty, you know, I didn't look at art so much anymore. But here it is, and as I say, there's a lot going on with triangles and sort of these kind of moon shapes and the moon behind. And the more you look at it each time, the more you notice new details that maybe you didn't see before. But I like this. I don't know what it means, but I like it. And then more of the same really on the back. I've got this big arm and Lucifer, I would imagine, and that's a link into one of the track titles there. But again, not really much of an idea. If you know the story behind this art, comment away, let me know. And it's a gatefold. All right, try and show you. Here we go. And there they are. There's Crobot right there. I don't know enough of them to tell you who's who. The singer is this guy, but I couldn't tell you what the other guys play. Again, if you know, tell me. Share away. But nice big gatefold of a band. Inside, so the inner sleeve, it's the same artwork. And then on the back, we have the lyrics. And then we have all of these cool pictures. Kind of hard to see on the screen there, but there's a reason go buy it so you can see the art properly. All these cool little pictures around the bottom half of it. And then, as I say, we've got the lyrics all the way around and who's who. So I'm going to tell you who Crobot is made up of. There's been a bit of lineup change recently, I believe, with the band. I'm going to have to read it because I don't know the band well enough to be able to tell you these details. So Brandon Yeagley is on vocals. We have Chris, get my words out, Chris Bishop, there we go, guitar. Jacob Figueroa on the bass and Paul Figueroa on drums. They are brothers. Those two have left Crobot, I know that much. I believe they left around the second album, whether before or after, I'm not sure. I imagine before. So this was an early incarnation of Crobot. The changes in lineup on the band, I don't think have changed the band's sound all that much. It's still bouncy and has that quirk to it. My favourite word of the video, quirkiness. The record itself, again, as you know by now, it's going to be black vinyl. I'm not really going to be getting colour or definitely not picture discs. And just a small version of the front cover there with the name of the band, the logo and the artwork. And then we have track listings. It is a 2014 pressing. The album was released in 2014 and it's on Nuclear Blast. So there is a little Nuclear Blast logo at the bottom of the record on each side. So yes, 2014 pressing when the album came out. Track listing. So we have, I'm going to check on the... it should stay on here, just so I don't get my information wrong for you. Okay, so side A, Legend of a Spaceborne Killer, Nowhere to Hide, The Necromancer, Mano De Lucifer. That was that, why I presume that is Lucifer on that bit of art there. Skull of Geronimo, I think that's right, how you pronounce that. And Cloud Spiller rounds up the first side. Second side, flip it over, Fly on the Wall, Night of the Sacrifice, Chupacabra, Wizards, and Queen of the Light. There's some great tracks on here. As I say, Legend of the Spaceborne Killer is definitely one of my favourite Crobot's songs overall. Chupacabra, which, let me get this right, is a Mexican dog in folklore, is that right? I believe so. I actually learned about Chupacabra, or at least first heard that word on The Walking Dead, of all things. And then lo and behold, I listened to Crobot and there it is. Chupacabra, Legend of a Spaceborne Killer, and I actually like the last track, Queen of the Light. It's more, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a ballad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not as high energy. A lot of these tracks are very high energy. As I say, I've never seen this band live, but Brandon, the lead singer, has a lot of energy. He's favourite word again, he is quirky. He is larger than life, and he puts on, from what I've seen on YouTube and whatnot, quite a show. And this music allows him to do that because it is high energy and there's a lot going on. There's some great riffs. There's some heavier passages. I wouldn't say it's too melodic other than on the Queen of the Light, that last track there. But it sounds all right. It's not, again, not the most dynamically sounding. You haven't got a big soundscape with this record. It's fairly CD-esque, digital-esque, just switched over onto vinyl. It's definitely not the most dynamic record I have, unfortunately. I would have liked it to been, because I think that music would sound great on the big sound stage, with those dynamics punching through a little bit more. But needless to say, it is still a solid sounding record. It's one to definitely turn up and enjoy. It's one I imagine would be great at a party. Stick it on at a party and have some fun and have some beers. It's not background music, I don't think. It's one that people need to hear. But yeah, the debut album, the debut record of Crobot. Again, it's probably one of the bands that is not as known. I've featured a lot of bigger bands and will carry on probably featuring some of the bigger bands of my record collection, but not so much known are Crobot. But I hope that changes. I hope this video helps spread the word a little bit. If you haven't checked them out and you haven't heard of them, go and get any one of their records. They're all solid. They're all great. They're not too dissimilar apart on sound. And have a good time with them. I'd like to see them live. I'm hoping when live music comes back, Crobot will come and visit our fair island at a venue close to me, and I can go and check them out. So thank you, Toby and Gina, for all your mentions of Crobot. I'm glad that I went there finally. It took a bit of time, but I'm glad I got there in the end. Something Supernatural by Crobot. Another one of my fantastic records that I can get to share with you guys. I'll be back again nice and soon with more content. Go and hit subscribe, thumbs up, drop some comments, hit that bell so you can know when I am posting new videos on this channel. But until next time, everyone, take care, listen to vinyl, buy vinyl. It's worth it.